Hey everybody, how's it going? This is John Breed, and I'm here tonight to recap all the action from this weekend's doubleheader at Pocono. Got fuel? Got tires? That's certainly what a lot of drivers and teams were asking about this weekend. The Cup Series at Pocono Raceway. Saturday and Sunday, the doubleheader weekend. Saturday was won by Alex Bowman after Kyle Larson, who was going for his fourth straight Cup win, had a left front go down in the final turn coming to the checkered flag, allowing Alex Bowman to win. Pretty crazy finish. You don't usually see that. And I can't even remember the last time that happened. Honestly, you would have to go back to the Xfinity Series a couple of years ago. I seem to recall, I think it was Kyle Busch who had a right front go down on the last lap, and Austin Dillon got by him, and it's a pretty crazy finish. But in terms of Cup, I don't even remember the last time that happened. You would have to look back to, I don't even know, maybe Dale Earnhardt, the 1990 Daytona 500, when he was leading, going into turn 3 and had a tire go down, allowing Derek Cope to win. I mean, I'm sure it's happened sooner than that. But anyway, I mean, the point is you don't usually see this kind of finish. And Kyle Larson, it's just nobody can win 4 in a row. I don't know what it is. The last time it happened was Jimmy Johnson in 2007. And there have been some guys that have strung 3 together, but it seems to be that 4 is just an unlucky number. And tough break for Kyle Larson. I mean, after he did a beautiful job of running down Alex Bowman late in the race. I mean, he was running behind him for an extensive amount of time and finally got by him with about 4 laps to go. It was a really fun battle to watch. Bowman would start to pull away. Larson was starting to fade a little bit, but he would came back and passed him. And it was a really fun battle to watch, and really unfortunate for Kyle Larson, but obviously fortunate for Alex Bowman. He got his 3rd win of 2021, and just another win for Rick Hendrick, their 9th on the season. Now, I know everybody, of course, wants to talk about today's race. Today's race was the story of fuel strategy. And Kyle Busch, on the next to last lap, passed Denny Hamlin, actually coming to the white flag. Denny Hamlin had ran out of gas, and Kyle Busch got by, saved enough fuel, and won the race. And originally, William Byron was actually up front, and he was out front by about 7 seconds after Brad Keselowski had came into pit. He was leading before Byron. So Byron took the lead, and it looked like he was going to be able to save enough, perhaps. I mean, he was really backing it down, and Hamlin had gotten within about 1.5 seconds, and then unfortunately for Byron, he did have to come to pit road. And it was left to Denny and Kyle Busch, who were running bumper to bumper, and Denny Hamlin thought he could make it, but didn't. And Kyle Busch ended up winning the race. Kyle, his 2nd win of 2021 and his 59th career Cup Series win. Lots of drama this weekend in Pocono for sure in terms of pit strategies, and I will say I enjoyed the first race better in terms of like quality of racing. I felt like it was more exciting. But in terms of drama, if you like a dramatic finish, if you like drama in the late laps of the race, I mean, this was certainly the race for you. And I do want to say that NBC does a great job of really building that up in terms of, the pit strategies, and they're telling you, what drivers can make it, what drivers can't, and they're, calling it down to the pit reporters, saying what's going on, who can make it, who can't. They do a really good job of dramatizing the pit strategies, and it made it a lot more exciting. So I got to give credit to NBC for that. They did a great job of that. Steve Letarte, especially, I think does a tremendous job in the booth. But overall, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the finish. Actually, I take that. I really enjoyed both of them about the same. I mean, I hate what happened to Kyle Larson, but I really enjoyed the battle between those two. Bowman and Larson there in the last 10 or 15 laps. It was really fun to watch, and I was enjoying watching these guys trying to make it on fuel. And I'm glad the caution didn't come out, because if the caution came out, it wouldn't really meant anything. And so, I mean, Pocono, for Pocono standards, usually I don't really like Pocono. I know a lot of the people don't, but I'm hating on Pocono now. I apologize to everybody that does like Pocono, but it just not my track. And but this weekend it was fun. There's something about this doubleheader now that I like. I didn't really like it before. I figured, why don't you just do one Pocono race? Why are we doing two on the same weekend? Like, why? But after this weekend, I can't complain. I thought it was a good weekend of racing, and a lot of surprises for sure. And so, yeah, I enjoyed it. And as far as Kyle Busch goes, Kyle Busch had a crazy day. He battled back after having problems with the gear shaft. He kept saying it kept popping out of fourth gear. He was having problems with that. He had a crew guy through the window on a pit stop trying to fix the gear and the shifter, excuse me. And I think at one point he was actually a lap down, and then he got a caution and got back on the lead lap, but I may be wrong on that. But battled back and won. It was obviously Hendrick has been dominating this year, particularly Larson, obviously, and Bowman is throwing his hat in there as well. All the Hendrick cars are running well, but Kyle Busch, you can't sleep on him. You just can't. And I think he proved today that his team can overcome this kind of adversity. And he battled back. He had a topsy-turvy day, and granted he won the race on fuel mileage, so there is that, but overall that team battled hard today, and you can't take that away from him. So if you're looking at the best teams right now, I would say obviously Kyle Larson I still feel is the best guy out there, and he did get a second place finish today, battled back for that after having to go to the back for a backup car because obviously he wrecked his first car in the first Pocono race. But I would say Kyle is right there. Kyle Busch he's found something, and he's right there as well. Another guy I feel is really starting to come on lately is Kevin Harvick, and Kevin Harvick had a shot to win today. He was he actually pitted, and towards the end of the race he was a for sure in terms of making it on fuel, and he ended up finishing fourth. And he's starting to really come on. That's his second top five in the past 3 races, and he's starting to show a little bit of speed slowly but surely. And if you're a Kevin Harvick fan, I wouldn't worry too much yet. If you remember 2017, Kevin Harvick only won 2 races the entire year, and he ended up making the championship 4. One of those wins was Texas near the end of the year, but I certainly would not worry yet if I were a Kevin Harvick fan. He's starting to really turn it on. He's obviously not as strong as what he was last year. I think I saw a stat somewhere. I think Larry McReynolds was talking about it. Kevin Harvick has only led 39 laps all year, no stage wins. It's very surprising to say the least, but honest to God, all the Stewart-Haas cars are really struggling, but Harvick's carrying the team right now, and I think he's starting to find something. So there is that. And so Harvick was fourth today, as mentioned. Bubba Wallace, first top 5 for 23-11 racing today. He finished 5th and did a good job saving fuel there at the end. Looked like he could have had a shot to possibly win the race if the other guys in front of him had ran out of gas, but Bubba Wallace 5th. And looking here, he would have actually been 3rd. If you're looking at the different strategies, Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson were both on the same strategy. Brad Keselowski was, of course, leading, then he came in. He ended up finishing 3rd. Of course, Harvick was 4th. Bubba was 3rd in terms of, who was on his strategy. So he could have finished 3rd, but he ended up finishing 5th. But first top 5 for that team. We'll see what happens. Obviously he got it on a fuel strategy race, so we'll see. Bubba said in his interview that, he feels that the team has had some speed to run up front, and poor execution has kept them from running well, finishing well. So we'll see. I don't know. They've certainly had some bad luck, that's for sure. But in terms of speed, I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. Daniel Suarez, though, I will say, those guys, for what they've been able to do so far this year, it's very impressive. Daniel Suarez was 13th on the first day at Pocono, and today he was actually 15th. Wasn't running as strong in this race as he was the first one, but still very impressive. what that Trackhouse racing team has been able to do this, Team Trackhouse has been able to do this year. It's very impressive. And he's only 48 points behind the playoff cutoff line, so that'll be interesting as well. Speaking of that, Kurt Busch, after 2 good races this weekend in Pocono, he is now above the cut line, 3 points above Chris Buescher. So that'll be very interesting. Of course, Kurt Busch won the second stage at Pocono yesterday and had another solid run going today. Ended up finishing, if I look on down through here, I can't find Kurt Busch's name. I know he was running up towards the front. Oh, okay, so he did finish 20th today. Must have ran out of gas there at the end, because I know Kurt was up there trying to save, and it looks like he just didn't save enough. I don't know whether he ran out or whether he had just backed it off that much, but yeah, Kurt Busch 20th on the day today. So, I mean, you can look at it this way, is that, you know, had he finished up there, that he would have been, you know, probably 20 points above Chris Buescher in the cutoff line. But, I mean, he still had a good run going. So if you're a Kurt Busch fan, you can at least rest on the fact that, you know, he was running very strong. He's had some bad luck this year, obviously, with engine problems and things of that nature. But the thing about Kurt Busch is he's a very consistent driver. And we'll see what happens with Chris Buescher, but, I mean, I would watch out. Kurt Busch, you know, knows how to get it done late in the season, knows how to run consistent. So we'll see what happens. And yesterday yesterday he finished 6th, and felt like at some points he may have had a chance to win that race yesterday. But the overall, both races, you know, were very interesting because guys were on different pit strategies, and I mean, there were so many points where I thought, you know, anybody can win this race. And, you know, Alex Bowman was lead in there late in the race today, and he had to come into pit. And, you know, it's just all the different strategies. It was chaos. So, overall, I was very entertained by these Pocono races. And Kyle Busch, like I said, 2nd win of the year. Alex Bowman won his 3rd race of the year this weekend. So, the cream continues to rise to the top. I mentioned Hendrick's been strong, and Kyle Busch has been strong. So, if you look at this top 5 here, you obviously got Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, and Bubba Wallace. That's from today. Ryan Blaney 6th, Alex Bowman 7th, Ryan Preece 8th, Tyler Reddick 9th, Joey Logano 10th. So notable finishers. Martin Truex Jr. actually won a stage today, and he, you know, these past couple of weeks has really faded off. And he was running up front today, won a stage, so very good for him. I'm starting to get worried about that team. I don't know what was going on. I think he had 1 top 15 in the past 6 races going into today. And he was able to win a stage, finish 11th. I mean, a decent run. But very interesting what's going on with Truex. After he had won 3 races earlier in the year, he's started to fade off a bit. But had a solid run today. Obviously, William Byron trying to stretch the fuel there at the end to win. Just didn't happen. He finished 12th. And as a continued stroll here, obviously, Denny Hamlin was 14th. Daniel Suarez was 15th. Kurt Busch was 20th, as mentioned. Chase Elliott, 27th. He had himself a wild weekend. Chase, so in that first race on Saturday, he had some damage to his right rear corner panel. At the very beginning of the race, he got into it with Ryan Preece, and affected his car greatly, and had to go to a backup car today, I believe. Or did he fix the damage? Actually, I'm not sure on that. But his setup was off pretty much all day, and ended up finishing 27th. I mean, he was up towards the front at one point, battling with Christopher Bell. Got into it with him. Christopher Bell made a great save earlier in that race. They made contact coming off turn 3. Bell got up against the wall. I don't know how he saved it, but Chase Elliott had 2 flat tires, I believe. He came down pit road once right after that incident, and then he came back down again, ended up finishing 27th. So, tough day for Chase for sure, but luckily for him, he is going to a road course next week at Road America, so look out for him there. Obviously, Christopher Bell was 32nd. Christopher Bell had a very good run going today. was up in, the top 2, top 3. Michael McDowell was also having a very good run as well, leading some laps after he started second due to the inverted starting order. He finished 17th today. And yeah. So there you go. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. had engine problems. He ended up finishing last today. So that first race as well, I'll go through the notable finishers here. Obviously, Alex Bowman, Kyle Busch, William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney. Then followed by Kurt Busch, Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski. That's your top 10. Notable finishers, Chase Elliott was 12th in this one. Daniel Suarez was 13th. Bubba Wallace was 14th. Martin Truex Jr. was 18th in that one. Austin Dillon 21st. And, of course, Austin Dillon right now currently in the playoffs by points. Ross Chastain 33rd. Ross Chastain, this guy got way too excited battling with Christopher Bell today. Got up alongside of him. And he's a very aggressive driver, but, man, he needs to, look, I like the guy, but he needs to chill out a little bit. I mean, he needs to chill. He got into it with him and ended up cutting a tire down and ended up having a horrible finish when he was running second at that point. So, tough break for him, but he's learning, I guess. But, yeah, hate it for Chastain. I was pulling for him there, but there you go. Now, I did not see the Xfinity race, but Austin Cindric won. It is his 4th win of the 2021 season on a strive for his 2nd straight Xfinity Series title. Ty Gibbs, another impressive performance by him. He ran 2nd. Justin Allgaier, who actually did double duty today after Justin Haley had a really hard crash in the Xfinity race. And he was okay, but they just wanted to make sure that, they wanted to sit him out just in case, because he did get out of the car and kind of laid down on the track for a bit. Looked like he may have knocked the wind out of him, and Justin Allgaier ended up running for him today in the 77 car. Noah Gragson was 4th, A.J. Allmendinger was 5th, Daniel Hemrick 6th, Brandon Jones 7th, Jeb Burton 8th, Josh Berry 9th, Myatt Snyder 10th. And as far as the Truck Series race from Saturday, John Hunter Nemechek beat Kyle Busch, beat the boss man. On the last restart, just passed him. I mean, Kyle was leading, but John Hunter Nemechek on that last restart went up and passed Kyle Busch. And Kyle tried to run him down at one point, but then made some contact with Sheldon Creed battling for second. Ultimately allowed Hunter Nemechek to scoot away for his 5th win of the season. I mean, he's just dominated. I mean, look, with this format, anybody can win a championship, but my money is all the way on Hunter Nemechek. I mean, obviously, I think it was William Byron a couple of years ago who had won, I think, like 8 races in the season. And, like, the next to last race had an engine failure and didn't end up even making the 4. So, I mean, anything can happen. I do not wish that on Hunter Nemechek. He's doing a great job right now. But, I mean, you talk about going up there and being able to beat Kyle Busch like that. And he did the same thing at Richmond a couple of months back. And he's just looking very, very impressive. So, this is his championship to lose, though, for sure. I mean, I really don't see... Ben Rhodes has gotten some wins, and obviously Sheldon Creed has been strong, and Austin Hills ran well also, but it's going to be hard to beat that Ford truck this year, for sure. And, of course, Kyle Busch was 2nd. This was his last truck race of the season. And he said in his interview he doesn't know when he'll be back in 2022, so we'll see. Sheldon Creed was 3rd, Tyler Ankrum was 4th, Austin Hill was 5th. Then it was Matt Crafton, Todd Gilliland, Zane Smith, Ryan Preece, and Derek Kraus. So there you go. I mean, my overall thoughts on Pocono were they exceeded expectations. I think personally it over-delivered in terms of the drama and the racing as well. I saw a lot of people not like it. I kind of like the way you're able to draft up on somebody and get a run, but the con of that was it was very difficult to pass. And, I mean, even Kyle Busch said it itself, but, I mean, you can watch the race and see how difficult it is. I mean, you get a run on a guy, but then you just can't make the move. It's a weird thing, but overall, I mean, if you're looking at this from an objective perspective and, if you're not focused on your favorite drivers, obviously if you're a Larson fan or if you're a Hamlin fan, you're probably not very happy with Pocono, but, I mean, overall, you can't really be too upset after two really exciting finishes there to the end of the race. And not just the fact that, I mean, Larson blew his tire. That was a freak thing that happened. But, man, watch that battle between Larson and Alex Bowman. I mean, it was just awesome to watch. And NBC, I think, did a great job of, the production and everything of intensing that battle up. And, yeah, I really enjoyed Pocono this weekend, believe it or not. And I enjoyed the first race better than the second, but the second race was also very exciting. So, next week we had Road America, which, man, could be more fuel strategy going on down there. And, I mean, we'll see what happens. Chase Elliott, obviously going to be one to watch. Kyle Larson, I mean, after that performance he put on at Sonoma, he'll be one to watch. We'll see what happens. We'll see where this playoff thing shakes out. I mean, I really don't know where it shakes up. And as far as Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick goes, it's just amazing that those guys still do not have wins this season. I mean, I think Denny Hamlin has been running very strong. He's obviously the point leader, I think, up until this point. I'm not looking at the point standings right now, so that's actually, could have changed. Larson could have actually passed him. But the point is he's been running very strong. And, I mean, and let's see here. Something just came up. Yes, Denny Hamlin is still the points leader by 8 points over Kyle Larson. So he's still the points leader. He's running very strong. But just surprising he didn't have any wins yet. But, I mean, with Kevin Harvick, I mean, this is just not the Kevin Harvick we've seen, as I've already mentioned. But I do, like I said, think he is starting to hit on something. So we'll see what happens there as well. And that is it, everybody. That is the end of my recap. I will be back later this week to preview Road America. Everybody have a great night.